A few weeks ago, we received a question from John. Swedenborg wrote, "All those who are under the love of use receive the influx." Does anyone know what the word use means in this context? In chapter 13, Swedenborg continues his exploration of the concept of correspondences, but he also explores the subject of use. He writes, "The Lord's kingdom is a kingdom of ends which are uses. On this account, the universe has been so created and formed by the divine that uses may be everywhere clothed in such a way as to be presented in act or in effect. In other words, everything has a purpose." He also writes, "With man, so far as he lives in accordance with divine order, thus so far as he is in love to the Lord and in charity towards the neighbour, to that extent his actions are uses in form, and are correspondences by means of which he is conjoined with heaven. To love the Lord and the neighbour means in general to perform uses." The idea of use is vitally important to us. Many of us ask, what is the meaning of life? And Swedenborg finds it in use. Anyone who has love within him is not content just with knowing, but with doing what is good and true, that is, with engaging in a use. And everyone in the Lord's kingdom must perform a use. In one sense, it's not as though we need to try to be useful. We just are. Irrespective of whether our intentions are good or evil, the Lord uses our very existence, all our attitudes and our behaviour to drive the spiritual development both of ourselves and of those people we meet. But the value of performing useful services for others extends well beyond the use itself. Elsewhere, he writes, "If a man perceives in himself a delight from use separate from self, he may know that he is in genuine affection. And none can see whether the doctrine of their church is true except those who are in the affection of truth for the sake of the uses of life. They who have this end are continually enlightened by the Lord." It's important to remember that we can be of use doing anything. It doesn't need to be grand or a so-called important job. I remember the story one of my favourite primary school teachers told me about Sir Christopher Wren. Sir Christopher designed and rebuilt St Paul's Cathedral after the Great Fire of London. On one particular day, he took a tour of the worksite, and many of the men employed on the project were absorbed with the importance of their own jobs and keen to show off their craftsmanship. But Sir Christopher found also a man who was sweeping the floor. He had no idea who Sir Christopher Wren was, but when asked what he was doing, he simply said, "I'm helping Sir Christopher build St Paul's Cathedral." And I've many friends who take time to post thought-provoking memes such as this one, and they too perform a useful service. So in Swedenborg's understanding, no one is a waste of space. No one is stealing oxygen from someone more worthy. Even the most evil person may simply serve merely to remind us of our own capacity for evil and to stimulate the endeavour to do better with our own time. So how do you serve others? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if everything serves a purpose, what is the use of the knowledge of correspondences? I'll give you a hint. You'll find it in this chapter. As always, you're welcome to read along with us or read ahead if you prefer. You may come up with questions that you may wish to add to the comments. Enjoy the journey.